Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about something that Josh Harris is doing that Ron Rivera and Dan Snyder especially never did. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe. We're really close to 12,000 subscribers, trying to hit it by the end of the year, only around 100 away, so please help me get there. Also with that like button and that notification bell as well. Alright, so what Josh Harris has been doing that Dan Snyder never did, and something that Ron Rivera was really bad at, was being more analytics based and using analytics more in, your decisions in terms of sometimes drafting players, making moves, and also sometimes in games. There's some teams that go a little bit overboard with it, but we're one of the teams that didn't, barely used it compared to other teams, especially the good teams like the Ravens that have been using it for a while and have been one of the, best well-run franchises over the last, couple of decades. They've done a really good job with analytics, and I'll just read this here. And it's not just Eugene Shen who they hired. They've hired a couple other guys that'll be going, into it a little bit. And that's just the start of, Josh Harris's overhaul of this front office. These guys are going to stick around, obviously, after Rivera and everyone goes away, but there's going to still be, some other analytics guys they probably want to add. But let's read this press release. This is from, a couple months ago. And they said the Washington Commanders announced today that they hired Eugene Shen as the team's senior vice president of football strategy. Shen will oversee all analytics and software development for the football operation. He arrives in Washington with experience in both coaching and personal analytics in the NFL level. He previously served as a vice president of football analytics for the Jaguars, overseeing all data analytics for the entire football operation. They've been very analytics based with and driven with Doug Peterson there. Prior to his stint with Jacksonville, he was with the Dolphins. He also was with the Ravens for like 6 years and just did a really good job working with, John Harbaugh. I almost said Jim Harbaugh there in Baltimore, and did a really good job there. And we've seen the Ravens be very analytics, driven, especially in their, decisions to go for two in certain scenarios where, sometimes I disagree, but they've done a really good job going for it on fourth down a lot when, the Commanders, supposed to be Riverboat Ron, but a lot of times he makes the wrong decision on fourth down as well. And just a lot of little things that it can help you give, it can help give you a very slight edge. Maybe not a 10% edge, 15% like maybe some players can, but it can help you give that little bit of an edge that you can easily control that. You can easily control that just by making different decisions. And you look at the Commanders website, and you got Josh Harris up there. You got Jason Wright, who there's been some rumblings about maybe he's going to be back. And then you got the front office, who all three of these guys are going to be gone, hopefully. Definitely these two. Rob Rogers, maybe they keep him. I don't know. Probably not, though. And then Eugene Shen, recently added, so he's really up there. And there's been a lot of people trying to dig deep into what his ideology is for football and stuff like that. He values the tight end, but you guys can see some of his experience here. A little bit of what Ron Rivera is saying about Eugene Shen. I don't care about that because Ron Rivera and him will not be working together a lot. He's held some positions in the finance industry. You guys can see this right here. Worked at Alliance Bernstein as a senior vice president and portfolio manager. So it has a bunch of different backgrounds as well. This is what he said when he got hired. He was at got his MBA at MIT, so very smart guy. And in 1998, and his bachelor's from Harvard. So two very, very impressive degrees, and you guys can see some of the other stuff as well. Native of Houston, Texas, and has a wife, a daughter, and a son, I guess. So that's kind of all the background you need on Eugene Shen. I really like that they're doing this, and I like that they did it in the middle of the season because he actually helped with some decisions in terms of the trade deadline. He helped gauge the value and helped Rivera with that. And I think it'll help out with the draft as well, trying to gauge the value of players. Like, he's not going to be scouting a lot, but in terms of some of the decisions, some of the trade decisions, trading up, trading back, what players, or what positions that are more valuable, stuff like that. That's very, very important information that can be used in the draft process, the free agency process, cap space, so much more that we haven't been able to do with Rivera, where he's not a big analytics guy. And then, Dan Snyder never really hired, big analytics people. Bruce Allen wasn't either. So Grant Paulson says, can't stress enough how pumped I am to see the Commanders hire Eugene Shen today. Not only is it a necessary move to bolster the analytics department and build them some models to work with, but this is the start of Josh Harris shaping things in his image. It has begun. So just again, really good hire, I think, for the Commanders. And there was another hire as well, but here's some more background on him. 2018, Ravens won 6 of the last 7 on the way to a division title, with Harbaugh making decisions based off of Eugene Shen's calculating how various scenarios could impact playoff odds. So a really good guy to have in your organization. They also recently, this was this week, this is kind of what led me to make the video, because I'm saying, okay, they're hiring a bunch of different guys, but they brought in Tim McGrath Tim McGrath as a consultant on player wellness and sports science. He will assist the team in evaluating their athletic training, strength and conditioning, nutrition, and player wellness operations. McGrath is a clinical research director of Pitch Ready, a company that specializes in pre-injury reduction strategies and return to sport testing. His expertise on this will be a point of emphasis as he's supporting the Commanders' operations. Owner Josh Harris has said multiple times that analytics and sports science can give a team an edge. On the analytics side, he recently hired Eugene Shen as a senior VP of football strategy. So I talked about that. So I like these hires, and even analytics and injuries, like what equipment to use, how often do these players need to play, stuff like that can definitely help out a ton. And I'm not no expert on this, but I'm sure this will help out as well, and will help out the player experience. I'm sure a lot of these teams, these well-run teams, have guys, maybe not in this specific role, but something similar to that. And, it helps them get a little bit of an edge. Obviously, it's not going to eliminate injuries. You're going to have injuries regardless, but I think it's a good step in the right direction. Hiring more guys like this, being more analytically driven, is a step in the right direction, something that Dan Snyder wasn't doing. And real quick, someone that probably is into analytics, Ben Johnson. It's a rumor. This is from Justin Anderson. He's asking for at least or around $15 million per season to coach at next season at head coach, obviously not with the Lions. I mean, maybe he'll stick around, but I think he'll finally leave. But his agent came out and disputed those claims, saying it's not true. So who knows? But he's gonna be probably the most sought out candidate, honestly, because he's done wonders with the Lions offense, and they have good players, but I think he's just done a really good job there and has elevated that offense, elevated those players. He's really creative as well, and I would love for him to be the head coach. And I saw a rumor that the Chargers want a more experienced coach, like maybe Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh. So that would be great. That would be great, because I don't want either of those guys. I mean, I wouldn't hate Jim Harbaugh, but I don't want him. There's guys like Bobby Slowick and Ben Johnson that I would rather have. Those are the guys I really want. My top 2, Ben Johnson 1, Bobby Slowick number 2. And there's a couple other guys that I like as well, but by far and away, my top 2 options are Ben Johnson and Bobby Slowick. And yeah, I think that's it for today's video. Just want to go over how, Josh Harris kind of trying to reshape the front office, at least by the analytics side right now. And then, this offseason, hopefully he hires a young new GM. And that guy's probably going to like analytics too. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.